Good morning and welcome back. 8:08 our time now. This is 2 News Today on Dayton CW. I'm Dan Edwards, and rain is on the way. So is Jamie's forecast. But joining us now is Paul Noah, publisher of Dayton City Paper. Paul, welcome in this morning. All right. Now, you first caught my eye with a story that your paper published back in March, and it's kind of a lighthearted story about the possibilities of relocating Dayton's main Metro Library downtown at Cooper Park to the now vacant Dayton Arcade building under development by Gunther Berg's development team. Now, since this publication, movement has really started to seriously gain here, revisiting this topic.
Amazingly so.
Where do we stand, and how did this kind of get going?
It got going from an idea that was provided by my friend and colleague J. Todd Anderson originally several years ago. Mm-hmm. And then when the library levy was passed last November, he rallied me to allow him to publish the story, which we, again, published.
Yes, you sure did.
The story created crazy momentum, and in fact, the day after the story, we received an email from Gunther Berg himself with a single question: "Are you serious?" And I emailed him back, asked him to call me, and we conversed since then, and yeah, we are very serious in the sense that we've come to learn that there was a lot of public support when the public was given choices by the library for the levy. I believe their choices were limited because there was no comprehensive study to consider the viability of historic buildings or other buildings or simply locations other than the main library branch for this $187 million. And in this particular case, due to historic funding that can come from the federal government, the idea of placing the Dayton Arcade as an option will also not only save money, but it will create the greatest library in the world.
What's the chances of this happening, of getting a new study, and who would pay for it?
Well, tomorrow at 4 o'clock, there's a big announcement at the library that I'll be making. I will actually have floor time when the Library Board of Trustees has their monthly public meeting. And at that meeting, I will be announcing that there is a group that will be willing to pay for this additional study. Okay. The purpose of the study, and what will stop the Dayton City Paper and this movement, is simply to ask the board of directors to then ask their consultant, whatever the architectural firm they pick, to do the study. If the study turns out to show that the Dayton Arcade is not a viable option, we back off. However, we're so confident that the study will show that the arcade will be able to live in perpetuity as a viable option, especially because it will satisfy all of the current code requirements. Okay. So,
all right. Now, I talked with Dayton Metro Library Executive Director Tim Kabish about the possibility of this happening, and he said, quote, "Public engagement was huge in planning Dayton's new Metro libraries. Altering these plans now would be a huge risk. We are not going to scrap plans for the library of the 22nd century by placing the main library in a 19th century arcade." End quote. Paul, your comments.
Well, Mr. Kabish, again, has a particular agenda in mind, and there's a lot of money that was spent. A lot of people spent a lot of time on this particular goal, and I have a lot of respect for that effort. Again, an opportunity was missed and I believe omitted. In fact, there is historic proof that only several years ago, the offer to pay for that study was ignored by the Library Board of Trustees and Mr. Kabish.
All right, I'm sorry, Paul, but we're out of time,
okay.
But we want to direct folks to the latest edition of the Dayton City Paper on stands today. If you'd like more information, you want to be at the meeting to have your voice heard, go tomorrow at 4.
And correct? If you can go to DaytonCityPaper.com/arcade library to sign the petition, look at the back of the city paper, it's all here. Thank you very much, Dan.
And it's up to public opinion where we go from here.
The court of public opinion will speak.
Very well. Have your voice heard. Our time now, 8:13.